What's up, everybody? This is your boy Sam the Crazy Man. So I'm about to take you on a tour in my studio. And I know I promised when I was doing behind the studio vlogs, when I started putting this room together and painting and doing the floors and building it out. So now I had the time to put it together. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed this. And if there's any part of this segment, because this is an overview, if there's any part of this room or anything that you want to learn more about, just let me know and I'll do a video on that. Just hit me up. So I'm not going to bore you with unnecessary stuff, so let's go into the tour. Peace. All right, guys, so for starters, I'm a big Alf fan. So I have this big full-size poster on my wall of Alf. I wish they would bring him back. I'd love to be a writer on that series. Muppets Treasure Island, I'm a big fan of the Muppets. We got some Star Wars characters. Over here is a pinup I did for Cosmic Wars, which was a comic book that I first released when I broke into comics many moons ago. In fact, if I go down here, here's a movie poster I did for Cosmic Wars when I was working with my boy Tracy Alfred on a CGI version of it. Here's another pinup for Cosmic Wars. I'll probably bring that back one day. Here's an article that was done on me for There's an Alien in My Toilet by the New Jersey Journal. And there's Duty, Rambo style from There's an Alien in My Toilet. There's Poo Poo, that was done by my boy David Quiles. I did the coloring, he did the art. And this is by me. There's an Alien in My Toilet right there. So one of the things when I built this room, I added this nook, this closet, and it's, you know, just a bunch of stuff thrown in here, but there's a rhyme and reason to it. So here I have a lot of my original art in big folders. So a lot of the original pages in there. I don't have many of those recently because I'm using my Cintiq, but there's that. Here's my inventory of my books. There's the original Forbidden from back in the days. What else we got in here? We have, there's more Forbidden, this Cosmic Wars, and I'll show you guys that later. But I have my camera here, supplies. Here is more covers, original cover of Forbidden from back in the days. The Spanish version of Forbidden. Here's the Road to Valhalla that my boys I pledged to. Here's the new sketchbook for Forbidden right there. There's Cosmic Wars, my book that I did. That's the collected edition, volume 1. Here's the new Forbidden. That's the hollow foil cover. There's my trade paperback for There's an Alien in My Toilet. There's the colored comic book, issue number 1, First Flush. There's my signed copy of Catch the Crazies, number 1. More Forbidden stuff, more original Forbidden stuff, more Alien. My original sketchbook that I did back in the days, so then I have like my tech. That's my MacBook Pro. I take that when I'm on the go. Here's more just gears and stuff that I stave in here. Portfolio, my bags, my sound barrier foam. Here are my original trading cards for There's an Alien in My Toilet, the series. And then I got more supplies. There was a dinner that I took my old staff to. And just comics. Those are comics indie comics that I've read. And those are my travel supplies. So those two things I take to cons, and those are my inventory. And over here I have like pipe and drape stuff in the closet. So the closet works good for me. So what you see here is my pipe and drape. And that is when I'm podcasting, and we'll go on to the other side so you can see. So when I'm not podcasting and doing the Crazy 10 or Less, because I usually use that backdrop for the Crazy 10 or Less. But when I'm not podcasting, I usually have it up so I can walk underneath, but I'll just take this off and drop it. And let's just walk over here. You're like, dang, Sam, don't move the camera so fast. And then bam, there it is. There's my backdrop. And normally the camera is positioned here. And I have that backdrop there when I'm podcasting. And it works really well for me. So over here, there's a smorgasbord of stuff, right? So I tend to go back and forth with new and old stuff. But first, before I even talk, so there's some action figures that I have. I'm sure everybody has the same things. This is my first figure for There's an Alien in My Toilet. There's Duty. That was the first case. I believe I sold 1 or 2 of these. And back then, I think I sold them for like $100. when I first produced it. And this was my first EP when I was in the music industry. And there's more Disney in my toilet covers. Another cover by George the Dream Medina. There's a cover by me. There's a cast of crazies, whatever. So Steve Jobs, really good read. If you haven't read it, now I just lost my place. I like to read a lot, so you know, the originals, that's basically about just identity and being yourself. Time Magazine, Steve Jobs, I'm a big Steve Jobs fan. The Secrets of Genius, look at the geniuses behind there. Anyway, that's not comic related, but I love that. So here I have like all the books. I got the Usagi Yojimbo. Here I'm gonna be doing what's in the box for this right here, this bad boy. X-Men, the animated series, come on. One of the best animated series there was. So I have the Art of Darksiders, I have drawing, I have Rick and Morty, Jim Henson, The Art of Atomic Falling, He-Man, Anatomy. That figure is my first attempt at making my own figures. That's Captain M3 from Cosmic Wars. I got Gothic art, Charles Schultz. So if you go over here, Snoopy, 65 Years of Charles Schultz. I got the Disney Way, Fierce Conversations, Power, right? The 48 Laws of Power, great book on strategizing. So then here, you know, I had to get this magazine, Stan Lee, A Life of Marvel. You know, Stan Lee was the man, he's my hero. I know you've heard me on the show saying I regret never taking advantage of the opportunity of meeting with him. So there's more art books over here. I have tons of stuff. I have X-Men, I have Kingdom Come, I have Star Wars. I used to read a lot of Star Wars novel. Batman, there's It's a Living for my boy, Christian Aluas, The Art of Invader Zim. And I got more and more stuff back there. So if you go down, there's more copies of Disney on my toilet. There's Secret Wars. These are all my Wizard magazines, and I got more Wizard magazines back there, if you can see. This here just holds my collection of books. Cosmic Wars. There's Nearly in My Toilet. All my kids' books. So my kids' books were done in minis. So if I put them on the floor real quick. So there's The Adventures of Cosmic Gorf. This is The Ultimate Guide to Duty and Friends. Here's Duty's Adventures. There's Arg, Oogly Booglies, and Scary Airy. Where's Mandy Pandy in the curfew? I don't know, but I know she's in there. That was my stuff back then. And then this was my press kit. So you got to see the episodes we did on media kits. So this here is for our raffles, when we hold live raffles. And there is Robert Jordan's A Crown of Swords. That was a series my boy hooked me up to. I just couldn't get past the second novel. That's just me. Here's my mini fridge. Normally I have it stacked. I only have it stacked with seltzer water, pickles, and there's Bone by Jeff Smith. He's the man. I love his art style. I'm glad that Netflix is having a cartoon. Here is Scary Airy, a figure that I had done back in the days. I usually have almonds, and here's my bottle of wine. And there is my Exo Squad figures by my window that I used this film to black out. This here is one of my first hats I did for Project Duty. Again, I was working on a CGI with my boy Tracy for Disney on my toilet. Back here I got some Joe Kubert school stuff. I didn't go to Joe Kubert, but I did invest in the training. And that's it. So I'm gonna clean this place up. Oh, by the way, so this is Arg. This is my short story Arg. It's about a 68-page short story. It's all text. That's gonna be available at the PowCon that I'll be on. And this is an inventory. I'll be doing this. I'll be drawing on this. This is a puzzle, and that'll be commission stuff. There is copies of Forbidden in here, and this is stuff I use when I'm shipping. But here's this is all supplies. Here's some bookmarks for Forbidden. So I shipped out all the stuff from my Indiegogo campaign to my supporters. But there it is. So there's another pinup of Disney in my toilet. I mean, there's more Star Wars figures up here. There's Alf again. That's my boy. There's E.T., iconic figures, and there's more characters of Disney in my toilet right there. Here was my first single that I did. The group was called Poetry in Motion. There's the People magazine, Charles Schultz. There's the record, You Were a Good Man, Charles Schultz. Here's my favorite episode of Charlie Brown's Christmas. That's my dry erase board that I use. There is Forbidden. That's the cover for the graphic novel. That was done by Eric Ifata, really great artist. There's a Cosmic Wars by me, another one. And then here is the speech that Steve Jobs gave. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs, and the square holes. I thought that was one of the best speeches ever. There is my white flat screen on the wall. So when I'm podcasting, I have, or when I'm multitasking, or if I'm working and I'm using just my iMac down here, then I'm watching something, a movie or something, as I'm working while I'm listening to videos. So here is my Cintiq, and that's hooked up to my Dell laptop right here. And then here's my station here. And we'll go over that in a second. Let's go over to the other side. So now if we come over here, here's my mostly Spawn collection in here. A lot of McFarlane Toys characters in here. So if you move in, you're gonna see the Spawn bust up inside. I'll take out the glare. Let's see. Hopefully nothing falls out. So there's the Spawn bust. There's a lot of Spawn figures in this catacomb, and there's the Violator, and that's not Spawn, but Sam and Twitch. You got a lot of characters in here. I'm a big Spawn fan. I used to collect all Spawn, and then I stopped because it became too expensive. There's the Kiss collection. Here's Freddy and Jason, the Laboja. You can see I taped the knees because my cat knocked it off the shelf and broke it like he did with everything else. There's more Spawn figures, and you're gonna see I have a collection of hats. I love my hats. You know, that's just what I do. And up here, you got G.I. Joe, you got He-Man, you know, Superman, various characters, the Hulk. So here is E.T., my poster, again, iconic. There is Scary Airy on the wall, and the Adventures of the Cosmic Wars pinup on Lord of the Rings. Who doesn't love Lord of the Rings? And that right there is Spider-Man, a 9.8 grade that my staff gave to me for Christmas. Freaking awesome, signed by Stan Lee. And we're gonna go around the room. And then this is my first pinup of Catch the Crazies. And there's the first cover for the trade paperback of There's an Alien on My Toilet. That's my mom and me when we were kids. All right, so let's go over to stations. So this is my podcast setup. I have this light here when I'm sitting at this chair here with that backdrop there. And you can see I have two mics here, one here and one here. So there's total, I can have 4 people in this room. And so what I normally do is that camera right there that I have positioned there, I use that to podcast. And what I normally do is I move this camera right here, and I'll move that camera and I'll place it inside this slot right here. So this way the camera's facing this way, and I'm podcasting. But that's only for the Crazy Untitled Lash. So this is the Rodecaster Pro. This bad boy does everything. I love it. And then here are my stream decks. And you can see I have all of the transitions, the slides built in. Here is when George is back in the studio. This is where he can have his iPad mounted on. This is George's station when he's sitting here. I also use that station when I'm actually doing what's in the box over there or drawing traditionally. This is my camera when I'm usually doing podcasts with George for Catch the Craze. This is the mic I normally use right here, which is mounted there. And this camera is for when I'm doing drawing tutorials there. And I also have a camera here. It's turned away, but this camera here, so if George is on that side of the table, I can get him from over there. And then I also have the studio shot, which is this. This will get the whole studio in itself. So I give a lot of thought to when I put this together. And then I have my printer on the bottom. So my printer's down here, where you can't see. Nice and snug. And then here, one of my dogs, my Shih Tzu, he likes to sleep in there. So that's for him. And again, this dry erase board is when I'm working, jotting down ideas. Here I usually do, if I'm going live on Instagram, I have that mount there. Let's go over the stations. So this is my Cintiq, and I got this on Facebook Marketplace for man, pennies on the dollar, and it's the best thing, best investment I've ever made. I really love this tool. So I get a lot of work done with this. So when I'm drawing digitally, this is where I'm sitting, and all I do is just move my chair from there to there. And so I'll have this camera on that screen and that camera on me sideways. So it's pretty simple to use. And now when I'm drawing traditionally, where I'll go around the room and I'll come over here. So here's what I'm drawing traditionally. This piece here is my favorite piece. My boy David the Wolf Quiles did that for me because he knew I was a big fan of Sam and Twitch. I just love his stuff. And this is a Forbidden cover by Anibal Arroyos Compollos. You know, he did an amazing job on that. But when I'm drawing, I'll come to this station here. I also use this station for what's in the box. And this is, I'm working on sketch cards for the PowerCon, which is at the end of this month. So this is where I'll fill this up with sketch cards. I'll have this, filled. So this is my workstation. Here you'll find my art supplies here. This is a big bag of more markers. I have every color there is possible. There's my scripts. I usually put there if I'm needing information. So here's, I have my pens, my pencils, my supplies. There's my old camera, my Canon, and here's my newest one, which is the Lumix right here. And then here, when I'm doing sketch cards, here's my supply of sketch cards. And these are commission cards, and here's my covers. I have more supplies here, scissors. I have more pens and stuff in that drawer. These are pads, sketch pads when I need ideas. Additional supplies I'll have slid under here. So this works for me. This light up here, I have this. When I like this because you can change the brightness of it. It's pretty dope. So this works for me when I'm drawing. So when I'm doing traditionally, this is where I'm going to go. In fact, for those of you who have pledged to the campaign for the original art for Cast of Crazies, I'll be drawing on this table those 11 by 17 original prints for you there. So that's where I get my groove on there. So this is how I set up the studio. It's not a huge studio, but it works well for me. Again, I have a clock on the wall there to keep that clock stop working, but I have this one over here. So when I'm doing the podcast, I can look at the time, the date, the temperature of the room. And then if I go up to the ceiling, boom, I have this mural up there of Cosmic Wars. Look at that. I did that years ago promoting the series for Cosmic Wars. And then let's go over what's in this drawer, Sam. All right, so here, and here I have when we were at Comic-Con, which is crazy. So here was my my setup. There's my UFO hovering over, my alien setup. That was me back in the days. And oh, so anyway, so here is the full page ad that I had in the guidebook, and it was author signing. But there's needle in my toilet. I was also on the news that morning, which is great. See, I have a couple of copies. So here's when I used to rap. I was in the rap sheet. I was in like 4 of these. I kept all the articles of the rap sheet. And then here we were featured in Royalties magazine when we did Licensing Expo. And we have a full page in here for somewhere in here. I'm gonna find it in a second. Give me a second. All right, I just found it. So here it is. Full page in the Royalties magazine. This helped us get represented by Hollywood Management Company, Circle of Confusion back then. And we got a lot of attention in the industry. So in a nutshell, that's my setup. That's how it works. If you want me to break down anything else, just let me know. But you know, this works for me. You got to figure out what works for you. There's my keyboard underneath. I have this pull-out drawer. I don't know if I went over this, but I have this pull-out drawer on my keyboard. I have my notepad where I'm taking notes when we have guests on the show. This room is built for 3 guests plus me and my co-host George the Dreamer. But again, that's my studio. Things about having the studio right here is that, and this used to be my garage, is that I go out here and I'm in my yard. Boom. And if I want to get some R&R, I'll just come out and sit here. And I have my barbecue pit there and a bench. And this is a great way to just unwind and relax. And then I come back in here into my room. And again, I normally have this backdrop up when I walk in, but it's just so comfortable. And then when I'm done, I'll walk into my crib from there. All right, guys, so that's it. That's my studio. That's my setup. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So I hope you enjoyed it. You shouldn't be drinking on camera. My wife tells me that all the time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed taking you on a tour of my room. I'm a big fan of studio tours. I always love to see how other artists and creators get their art on. This is my room. I've been so creative. I'm a big blue fan. That's why you see the blue backgrounds. I love blue. And, you know, I'm a big kid at heart. And this is where I get my creativity on. And so I hope you enjoyed it. And if there's anything you want to see more of, you want me to go into in depth, just hit me up, DM me below. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. I love to chat it up. And if you have studios, send me a link. Let's talk about it. And maybe I'll feature you on our show. Talk to you soon. Peace.